Hey, MattTaylorTV. It's crazy, Zany, and always wacky. Tune in for the fun, stay for the surprise. Broadcasting live from bright sky. Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my! Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my! Entertain and educate. He's got the knack for making you laugh, and that's a fact. From wacky stunts to crazy tales on MattTaylorTV, the fun never fails. Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my! Every show's a blast, so have a ball with Matt Taylor. You'll love it all. From Brighton with love, it's the best you'll see. So hit subscribe, join the family. Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my! MattTaylorTV is the place to be for wacky, zany, and crazy glee. So don't be late, subscribe today. MattTaylorTV is here to stay.
Remembering those good old days when everyone had something to say. Those heady nights of laughter and light, where truth and madness danced all night, with credibility at full mass, and my mojo filled to the rim. I poured my heart into every word and lived each moment on a whim. But fame's a fickle flame, it fades and burns away, leaving echoes in the corners of yesterday. Now I'm chasing ghosts in the glow of my story, searching through the ruins of faded glory. The events of November 22 took their toll, but I'm still holding on, rebuilding my soul. Yeah, I'm wishing to recapture past glories. Back when the crowd would cheer my name and every upload fed the flame, I thought the moment would never end, that time itself would just suspend. But silence crept in like the tide and washed away what I'd built with pride. Now I'm staring down this empty page, trying to turn the pain to rage. Still I hear that call deep within my chest. The dreamer in me won't lay to rest. Now I'm chasing ghosts in the glow of my story, searching through the ruins of faded glory. The events of November 22 took their toll, but I'm still holding on, rebuilding my soul. Yeah, I'm wishing to recapture past glory. Maybe it's gone, or maybe it's sleeping, buried beneath what I've been keeping. Every scar's a story told, every fall makes the heart more bold. So I'm chasing light in the dark of my story, rewriting pain into something holy. The past may be gone, but I'm still alive. You're capturing glories that never die. Remembering those good old days, but knowing the best ones aren't far away.
Welcome, ladies and Lenny. It's just gone 8 o'clock on Saturday, the 8th of November, 2025. Exactly when 2025 is, it's 2025 years after something or another. I hope everyone's well. Thank you for joining me. It's the kind of show that people love to hate, but I'm so glad Lenny's here, because Lenny has a lot of advice for people, and I think we should all take a moment to follow Lenny in his eyes. I don't know what happened to my voice then. I seem to be having some interruption, some interference from Atlas 3i. I don't hate anyone, son. Oh, I've misread that. I'm getting serious interference from Free Atlas. I don't hate anyone, Matt, says Lenny. Now, do we believe that? Hands up. Who believes Lenny doesn't hate anyone? He obviously hates anyone. Otherwise, he wouldn't say, I don't hate anyone. Or let me get that straight. Or did he say, I hate anyone, or I don't hate anyone? I don't know. Hate not war, love not banishment into the depths of hell. One or the other. I'm sure someone out there understands what I'm going on about, because to be fair, I don't fucking understand what I'm going on about. Over to Lenny, who says, Anthony Hopkins has a book out, Matt. Would you be interested in that? No, I won't. And I'll tell you why. I am familiar with Anthony Hopkins having a book out. He's been doing a few media interviews about it. Now, to be fair, I like to say things at least 3 times. To be fair. He's a great actor, but he's not that great. I'd like to read a book about him. He says he never worked a day in his life. He says acting is easy. Well, you know, when you're genius at something, it comes easy. And I think he's a particularly spendipulous. I think that's a word. Some people just use splendid, but I like to use the word spindidopithecus. I think but let's just keep it English for you lot. I think he's a particularly splendid actor. He says you're not digging up roads or working in a shop. Real work, he says. Well, there you go. You know, whatever Anthony Hopkins says, we've got to take as brown bread. Because before you know it, he'll be buried under the tarmac, if you know what I mean. Over to Lenny. You think Ronnie O'Sullivan is just naturally good or doesn't practice at snooker? Exactly. I think there's an element of naturally good, and you perfect that natural talent with practice. But anyway, you know, Lenny's getting a bit deep and philosophical, isn't he? What I like about Lenny is that Lenny's gone live. Have you noticed that? Lenny has actually gone live, unlike many people on YouTube. Over to Lenny. Sorry, Matt. Didn't mean to come out the blocks and start throwing haymakers. It's all right, Lenny, mate. You just be yourself, bud. Just be yourself. And with enough water and sunshine, you'll grow into a beautiful flower. And maybe you may bud and get people high. So just remember that. Always be yourself. Make sure you get lots of sunshine and water, and you'll grow into be a beautiful flower. And then, like I said, if you're very lucky, you may bud and make lots of people high. Wouldn't that be nice? Hello, everyone. You're watching MattTaylorTV, broadcasting live from Brighton. Welcome, one and all. I had a particularly lovely walk this early evening. Oh, it was beautiful. I do love where I live. I know there's some beautiful places around planet Earth, but one of those beautiful places is Molescombe in Brighton. It's absolutely beautiful at this time of year. In fact, Brighton is beautiful any time of the year, be it spring, summer, autumn or winter. You'll always find something impressive to see in Brighton. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to remind anyone who hasn't been to Brighton to come. You'd love it. Like I said, autumn, winter, spring or summer, there's always something to do in the UK's premier seaside resort. And of course, if you have been to Brighton, come again, because it's always changing. Brighton is a very changeable city. In fact, there's the third phase of the Brighton Goldstein refurbishment going on. So there is literal change going on in Brighton. And so if you have been to Brighton, come again. It's not going to be the same Brighton as you experienced the last time you came. And of course, over winter, you get lots of really interesting stuff going on, be it the burning of the clocks, blah, 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 and blickly, blickly blue. Over to Lenny. Thank God for Lenny, otherwise no one will be chatting. Lenny says, Matt. Yeah, that's my name, thank you. Anthony Hopkins is my mate. Oh, really? He also thinks OCD and ADHD is nonsense. Mental health groups weren't happy with his flippant dismissal of these conditions. And I'll tell you who else isn't happy with Anthony Hopkins. His daughter. Apparently he abandoned his daughter when she was only a baby. And they've been estranged ever since. And that was the one topic he wasn't prepared to discuss on camera. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Don't abandon your children when they're babies. Just like my father abandoned me. Yes, I was abandoned as a baby. Over to Lenny, says, I think Sir Tony was trying to be controversial to sell the book. Does anyone with that fame and fortune need to be controversial? I think sometimes people tell them the truth. Is Anthony Hopkins' daughter a public person? No, not that I know of, Lenny. I haven't read the book and I don't know too much about him. So even though I think Anthony Hopkins is a marvellous, a fantastic, splendid actor, I haven't really got any personal investment into the guy. Unlike, for example, Sylvester Stallone. I like Sylvester Stallone. I got personal investment in Sylvester Stallone. And other British actors I'd like to name at this conjuncture: Michael Caine, Sean Connery, and rest in peace, Pauline Collins. These are the kind of people I'm personally invested with. And I can't tell you why I'm personally invested in the likes of Michael Caine rather than Anthony Hopkins. I don't know. It's just something I feel deep inside my stomach, with all the old stomach acids are bubbling away, so to say. Over to Lenny, who says, Matt, would that honestly immediately make you dislike Hopkins? Well, yes, because I was abandoned by my father. Okay? I was abandoned by my father when I was a baby. And so I can identify with anyone abandoned by their father while a baby. It's not nice, and it's not something you can forgive easily. You know what I mean? Lenny says, a runaway dad. He had a drink problem and his marriage broke down. Are we being harsh to judge him? Wow, Lenny, you know, I only came out to the pub for a few drinks. I didn't know we were going to have an in-depth conversation about Anthony Hopkins. He never had kids after that, did he? I'm sure he did. I don't know. I don't know, Lenny. Some men run away and have kids with someone else. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. I mean, I imagine that's what happened with my father. I imagine he ran off and started a new family somewhere. But it stumped me a bit there, mate, with the old Anthony Hopkins angle. Well, I wasn't particularly, I had no particular topic to talk about tonight. I was hoping to be a bit upbeat and kind of like, you know, wacky, zany, crazy, but we seem to be having a serious subject about Anthony Hopkins. Matt, I'm not anti-Welsh. I understand Tony is Welsh. There's a lot of people out there like Taffy who are Welsh who have no idea what it means to be Welsh. Hello, Tube England. Oh, I like your profile picture there. Good evening, gentle men. Feeling gentle tonight. Well, you know, I think the first question to Justin, thank you, Justin, for jumping in and saying hi. Are we being harsh to judge him? And we're talking about Anthony Hopkins, aka Tony, that Welsh bloke who's an actor. Lenny says Anthony Hopkins has done Hannibal Whatsits 3 times. That's his main grift stunt. Well, you know, he was pretty bloody famous before Anthony Hopkins, and I actually preferred his British-made movies before Hollywood. I think his that movie when he played a ventriloquist. I'm mispronouncing the word. You know that ventriloquist. You know, I'm having trouble. I can't. It's a really long word, and I have trouble pronouncing really long words. You know that thing where you have a puppet on your hand and it begins with V-E-N. Oh, fucking hell. How do I pronounce ventriloquist? I don't know how to, you know, when you throw your voice. What is that? Oh, there it is. Oh my. Here we have it. So how to pronounce, oh goodness gracious, I'm embarrassed. Ventriloquism. Oh my God. Ventriloquism, everyone. Ventriloquism. I thought that was his thank you, Justin. Ventriloquist. That's it. I was one of my favourite Anthony Hopkins movies was when he played a ventriloquist. Fantastic it was, and that was an old British movie that he had before he went to Hollywood, and I thought that was particularly brilliant. And he does play the psycho really well, and it makes you think maybe whether he is a psycho at home, and maybe that's why he drinks. I mean, everyone drinks for a reason, you know. I don't know. Let's see. I think so. So Anthony Hopkins, ventriloquist movie. That was in the, oh, I thought it was Magic. I was going to say Magic. It was Anthony Hopkins in the 1987 horror movie Magic. And in this movie, he played a ventriloquist with his dummy. And I don't know really what more to say about it, really. It was just really good. And I think the dummy was called Facts. And kind of like, we never knew whether the ventriloquist dummy was real or not, or whether it was all in Hopkins' mind. When obviously it was all in Hopkins' mind, or was it? Or was there something more supernatural involved? But the movie is the 1978 Magic, and if you haven't seen it, definitely go out and see it. It's brilliant. Have you heard his piano playing? Yes, fantastic, isn't it? And I was just touching upon why people drink. I mean, everyone's got a reason to drink. I drink because I love to get merry. I like to think I'm a sociable drinker. You know what I mean? It's just your conversation flows. You feel a bit good. You feel lightheaded. I certainly don't like to think I drink to banish demons or to forget. But yeah, Anthony Hopkins quit drinking in 1975. That's 50 years of sobriety. Wow, I mean that's well, isn't it? He still attends AA. Oh, so that means it's always on his mind, surely. Lenny, is he a mechanic? Says Justin. Yeah. There we go. Do you think Anthony Hopkins owns any E17 albums? He started doing those weird home videos during COVID, didn't he? Did anyone see that? He started doing some really diabolically bad home videos during COVID. I mean, I think I just saw one or two of them. And I thought, oh my fucking Lord, what on earth is he doing? Oh, and talking about E17, I want to do an article because I've done a little song saying the problem, and shout out to John Wedger, by the way. I think he's doing great work. But I've done a little kind of like article song saying the problem with John Wedger is Bill Maloney. And I want to do another one based along that same vein, based on Brian Harvey. And I want to say the problem with Brian Harvey is Matt Taylor. Because even though I think he may well be on the button, on the red button when it comes to Bill Maloney, I mean, his story that Bill Maloney tried to set him up with lies about various people, including David Icke, I think that rings true. I think, yeah, Brian Harvey has presented enough evidence to conclude or to make the conclusion that he's onto something. But then again, the problem with Brian Harvey is that he's called me out. He's saying I'm in with the conspiracy because I take my abuse a bit too well. And it's like, you know what I mean? Over to Lenny, who says, do you think Hopkins relapsed during the scandemic? Matt, yeah, I do. He looked totally pissed when he was doing those silly videos. Lots of celebrities went mental in 2020, to be fair. No attention to UC, yes. They're getting 27 attention normally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, quite right. You know, I think that may be a bit of truth in that, Lenny. Some narcs need 24/7 validation. And, you know, by narcs, we're talking about narcissists. Over to Justin, it says he played C.S. Lewis, the Lion, Witch and Wardrobe author, in a moody film called Shadowlands. Yeah, I mean, some of his movie picks aren't really my favourite. A big hello to Mandy Marlins, the beautiful, the amazing, the super talented Mandy Marlins. I mean, have any of you seen the night? I think it's 2020 movie with Mandy Marlins in it. I think she starred alongside Anthony Hopkins, I believe, wasn't it? You may have to correct me. I may have got that wrong. But I do think Mandy Marlins has starred in a few films with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. From what I remember. But, you know, I could well be wrong. You'll have to correct me if I got that one wrong. You know, no offence intended and all that. I had to get rid of someone today. I banned someone. They came in talking about Mandy's titties. And I thought, that's not nice. That's not, I mean, that's something, I don't want to go on a tangent too much, but I haven't often, but it's passed my mind. It's crossed my mind. But I wouldn't dare bring that up in a public space, you know. Just my side job, yes. Yeah. Anthony Hopkins seems an unapproachable geezer if you judge him strictly on his cannibalism problems. Well, it's funny you should say that because, I mean, of course, Jodie Foster never spoke to him during the Hannibal Lecter films. And while it could be argued that, you know, Jodie Foster said she was scared because of his character, you also can argue that he's not very approachable. You know? Just your side job, yes. Hello, Miss Marlins. Yes, indeed. We do much appreciate Mandy in the house. Great to have you in the house, Mandy. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you in the chat. I went live on my Matt Taylor TV Extra. If you haven't subscribed to Matt Taylor TV Extra, be sure that you do. You'll find it at youtube.com/@MattTaylorTV Extra. Emily came in, so it was nice to say hello to Emily. It's always nice to say hello to Mandy, and of course, the first in the chat, the beautiful, the fantastic, the totally handsome Lenny, closely followed by equally the most amazingly talented, handsome man, Justin. Over to Lenny, who says, I'd be more freaked out meeting Michael Barrymore than Hopkins. There's no dead bodies in Hopkins' swimming pool. No, Mandy, no. It's open to the public. But to be fair, I do believe I've banned so many people. They're like saying, listen, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered to create another profile just so I can go in and throw some shite at Matt Taylor. Yes. Oh, honestly, mate, was that Infinity Night? Yeah. Going on about earlier. I know. Oh, I mean, what was it? It was cease and desist. All that bullshit. Cease and desist immediately. Capital letters. And there's one thing I fucking hate. Are fucking arseholes on the internet sending me messages of cease and desist. Especially when it's in capital letters. Fucking gets my wick up, it does. Matt, how many people have done the Dr. Lecter hissing upper lip thing to Hopkins since Silence of the Hams came out? I don't know, but are you aware that he copied that from a vampire movie, a Dracula movie he watched as a kid? And of course, I'm just stopped because I just read Mandy Marlin's next comment, and the answer came into my mind, and I'll answer it next time. What do you get extra? Bigger tits. That's what you get on Matt Taylor Extra. You get bigger tits. And we're not talking about Mandy's tits. I'm talking about my tits, okay? There's a difference. Mandy Marlin's tits aren't hairy like mine. Anyway, yeah, so, The early Dracula movies, fantastic. I love the early Hammer House horror, vampire, the British-made vampire movies, brilliant, love it. I'm a big fan of the vampire movies. You know, I'm not that I wanted to be a vampire. I was more into the Frankenstein myself. And then growing up, I had a bit of a hairy back. And I generally thought I was a werewolf. I thought I had the genes of the werewolf. I did go a bit crazy every full moon. Over to Justin, who says, so an obsessed stalker on YouTube was telling Matt to cease and desist. Yeah, in capital letters, I hasten to add. Oh, thanks, Mandy. Honestly, Mandy. You know, and I've got to tread delicately here. Of course, whenever you're in the chat room, the last thing I think about. Anyway, let's just move on. I don't know how to broach the subject of big boobs when we got a lady with big boobs in the room. Matt, having man boobs is pretty common. It's the body God gave you, son. Yes, indeed. But is it common having a hairy back? Honestly, it done my confidence shit growing up. Fucking hairy back. What's all that about? In the army, when I was over in Germany, I used to go to beauty salons and get my back waxed. Fucking painful, man. Didn't know Hopkins ripped off an old vampire movie. Was it Christopher Lee? Could well have been. Could well have been, mate. Yes, they call it moobs. Yes, I've got a lovely set of moobs. So, you know, that was somebody came on and started talking about Mandy's boobs, and it's like, mate, I don't even reference Mandy's boobs. So if I don't go there, I'm not going to let anyone else go there, if you know what I mean. Boobs are normal. I don't know why people freak out about this. Thanks, Mandy. I'm glad you don't take it too seriously. Yeah, I remember my auntie Mari. She had big boobs as well, and she used to say, you know, when you're breastfeeding, boobs aren't. She used to say something like, or words to the effect, boobs aren't sexual when you're breastfeeding, something like that. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, they're essential pieces of kit when you're mothering a young baby. Pamela Anderson got rich and famous for that, you know. I know. Hey, listen, I love big boobs. I think, but mind you, hey, listen, I think it's best just to move on, you know, because we'll only have somebody come in and go, I've reported you for talking about big boobs. Yes, Mandy is enjoying the banter, top banter. It's all banter, mate. It's all banter until someone writes in capital letters, cease and desist immediately. Fucking honestly, if ever there's a way to get banned from MattTaylorTV, it's to come on and say cease and desist. Yes, cease and desist immediately. Here's Mandy going, oh, just shut the fuck up, please. Let's move on from the boobs, for goodness sake. Do we hear any of the girls talking about men's testicles anywhere? Oh. Matt, reporting you for boobs. Giro, I know, mate. Wait until I start getting my testicles out. Now, that will be a reason to report me. Yeah, I heard Rick Mace. Rick Mace is a good mate of Justin. He was talking about shaving his balls and shaving his pubes as well. And to be fair, I've never shaved my balls or my pubes. Okay, I've just never done it. And he made me think about it. He goes, yeah, I wouldn't enter into any sexual liaisons without shaving my balls. And so anyway, yeah, I've since shaved my balls and trimmed my pubic hair. And yeah, why not? You know, I'm a big believer in doing something at least 4 or 5 times, you know, before you like it. Matt, you can shave that area with a Manscaped trimmer. Yeah, I just had a razor in the bath. Yes, it would remember that, Matt. Yeah. I tell you, man, I was in the bath and my stomach, I got such a big gut, I couldn't even see my penis. Honestly, I'm embarrassingly bloody fat. No balls on YouTube. It's a bit cold to be shaving your ball sack, Matt. I know, but I tell you, I'm all for it. If Rick Mace recommends it, why not, mate? So where are we? Where are we in proceedings, kind of say? Parliamentary proceedings. Of course, we've got fight number 2, Ben Connor versus Chris Eubank Jr. next week. It's going to be epic. But I may well be up at my magical imaginary girlfriend's place. I don't know. It all depends on if my son's coming over. Yes, I think we should move on. I got a bloody £60 parking ticket today. Fucking 60 quid parking ticket. Oh, mate, honestly, I'm just gutted. I'm gutted. I went to pick up my niece and sister from hospital, and you know, such a murder parking around there. I thought I'll park in the bingo car park. I thought it was free, the bingo car park. Lo and behold, I get a parking ticket for 60 quid today. Fucking a right slap in the face it is. A right slap in the face. Especially when Christmas is coming around the corner. Fucking hell, but hey, you know, shit, it's only money, mate. You know, it's only money, mate. But 60 quid. Talk about fucking rip-off. Oh, joking, really? E17 are playing Walthamstow later this month. Yeah, they're coming home. Brian must be delighted about this. This is something you posted on your platform, wasn't it, Lenny? Yeah, something you posted. I remember. And a big respect to Lenny. I paused there because I also remembered Mandy has also gone live. Well, maybe not gone live, but Mandy's done a video, and what I call it is the master marks. I think there's one sure way to prove to the audience who you are, and that's to do a master marks, and that's just simply putting yourself on camera and saying hi, saying your name, and saying this is me. But that aside, a big shout out to Lenny for going live. I do believe, as you all know, more people should go live. Yes. Oh, joking about the parking ticket. No, mate. Fucking don't. It's only money. Luckily, I've got the millionaire mindset, and so money comes to me in abundance. And a £60 parking ticket is absolutely nothing to me. In fact, I'm actually happy to pay it. I'm happy to pay 60 quid parking ticket because I've got the millionaire mindset. Money comes to me in abundance, and I love spending money. I like any opportunity to spend money. I go, whoopee, that's lovely, that's great. And so, you know, the opportunity to throw 60 quid on a parking ticket fills me with joy and happiness. So I'm so chuffed, really happy about it. Lenny says Ronnie Craig, Terry Coldwell, and backflip. Yes. So do you reckon Brian will be particularly upset? Do you know what I have come across recently? I've come across the odd lives I did with Brian Harvey and Nikki Lee. So that's something that may well be going up on my channel. I think it may go up on MattTaylorTV Extra. I'll just copy the format of the mouse. Remember the mouse, when the mouse used to replay all my repeats? He used to get some good figures, mate. he or she, no one actually knows. It could have been something in between. For all we know, it could have been a reptilian alien. But I doubt that, of course. Lenny says, Matt, we can't play chart music. We will get a copyright strike. Hey, listen, that's why all the music you listen to on Matt Taylor TV is original music. Yes, you win some, you lose some. Exactly. It's a good mindset, you know. And I mean, I adopted the millionaire mindset during COVID, because as some of you may have known, on the eve of the COVID lockdown, I was arrested and all my equipment taken. And honestly, it was a bit of a knock to the system, because for absolute months and months and months, I couldn't be able to pay any bills. And I was having all these bills coming in, and there was just no way I could pay any, because everything was shut and I didn't have the equipment to go online and pay any bills. And it was such a stressful time that there came a moment where I just said, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. And I just stopped worrying about money. And I've stopped worrying about money ever since. And adopting that millionaire mindset really works for me. Over to Lenny, who said Anthony Hopkins' house burnt down in the LA fires. That's what he has a book out for. Oh, right. So the money from the book is going to buy himself a new house, or maybe get himself into a time machine so he can go back in time and don't have that cigarette by the pool. Matt, you've interviewed with Brian, is surely owned by BHTV. Are you talking crap? Are you talking crap? They came onto my platform, you nutter. Don't start talking crap. Listen, if you come onto my platform, I own the rights. Fucking hell, Lenny. You don't have to come out with some mouse dropping sometimes, mate. Matt, I wouldn't be surprised if you're working for BHTV. But you see, that's the problem, I think, with Brian Harvey. He actually thinks I'm part of the conspiracy because I take my abuse too well. And that is a big warning sign. That's a red flag for me, because I'm certainly not part of the conspiracy. And I don't actually particularly take the trolling too well. I mean, as Mandy saw earlier, I went live earlier on and I had 2 trolls. I reacted very badly, actually. So badly that I put that on to private. So I don't want people to see how badly I reacted to 2 trolls triggering the fuck out of me. Anyway, Prince Andrew is just Andrew now. Well, I do think he's Andrew Windsor. I know, isn't it? Great. Matt, work? Me work? What are you on about? Mind you, I am doing a lot of work at the moment. I'm working on the King Arthur book and I'm writing. So I actually am, and it's working for myself, really, because I'm freelance. Yeah. I write books. I'm a writer, you know. I write. That's what writers do. We write. Matt, no need to chew me out, Matt. Listen in. I'm not biting your balls off. Right? No need to fucking ring the police and go, oh, please help me. Matt Taylor's biting my balls off. He thinks you roll with the abuse too easy. I know. I mean, what the bullshit is that all about? Mate, what the fucking bullshit? I don't handle abuse particularly well. Matt has thick skin and a hairy back, allegedly, but I've got shaved balls. I may have thick skin. Oh, remember I told you a story about the army where he couldn't get the needle in my arm? Talk about thick skin. I know. What's that all about? He literally could not get the needle through my skin. It was totally bizarre. And he ran out of time in the end. And then we had to change arms, and I stuck the needle in his arm straight away. I think his name was Owen. Either way. But yeah, I may have thick skin, a hairy back, but I've got nice, cleanly shaved testicles. Thank you very much. Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor. Is that it? Okay. Just a Joe soap now, yeah, but he's still living in Norfolk, isn't he? In the Windsor. He's still got a nice place, mate. Yeah, you know. And do you think they still bring him escorts? I was actually watching his video with Emily Maitlis, whatever her name is. Mantelis, I think. Mantella Emily Maitlis today. And then I was watching an ITV interview when he was a younger man just out of the Navy. Very, very interesting. Yes, Freddie Foreman. Lovely, lovely job. He was in Neil by Mouth. He's in the kitchen sink drama. Real writing or AI? No, real writing, mate. Ah, mate. I only get AI slop to do all your stuff. I'm adapting the King Arthur Walking by Annan Wilson, Baron Blackett into the screenplay, and I'm writing my own book, and that is a joy because it's totally imagination. It's really, and I love that. I love writing stuff that you're getting from your imagination. It's a joy, actually. Matt, would you like to be the world's most famous? I know, terrible, isn't it? Hey, fucking talk about. And actually, there was something in the Emily Maitlis interview. He said something like, after chatting with Epstein on his stroll through Central Park in New York, which I don't know what year it was, maybe 2006. I don't actually know. He said that was the last contact he had with Epstein. But then, of course, he lost his titles because of emails. And so obviously those emails were sent after the photograph in Central Park was snapped, which means he is just a big fat fucking liar. He's just a total liar. Andrew Mountbatten will still be Prince Andrew if he didn't go on Emily Maitlis, yes, and tell Porkies, yes. So we all agree he's told Porkies, hasn't he? He can't sweat, and he was on the Pizza Express in Woking. And in the ITV interview, just after he left the Navy, he spoke about that adrenaline rush of being shot at in the Navy. And he says it left him with a grey hair dash. There was no suggestion that he couldn't sweat anymore. He just said, yeah, he had a massive surge of adrenaline being shot at by the Argentines. The emails sunk his battleship. Portland. So we all agree that he sent the emails after he claimed he had no more contact with Jeffrey Epstein. But the issue I've now got is the precedent has been set that if you have got a relationship with a convicted paedophile, you're not worthy of any nobility. You know, you're going to lose your titles. Well, in that case, surely King Charles is in the firing line because he had friendship with Peter Ball, a convicted paedophile. And we're not even bringing into the equation Jimmy Savile or Lord Mountbatten, who's alleged to be a paedophile, was a paedophile. So I think the whole thing is absolutely diabolical. And what's worse than everything is that it puts paedophilia right at the heart of the British establishment, which the conspiracy theories have been saying the case for years, way back to Bill Maloney and before. You know, that Chris Spivey. Conspiracy theory first came about with the contention that paedophilia is at the very heart of the British establishment. And over the events of this year alone have proved that to be true. So not only have we got the Prince Andrew scandal, we've also got the Peter Mandelson being sacked for his close relationship with Epstein. We've got Sarah Ferguson. It's big news in America. And then the fucking big elephant in the room with the crown on it is King Charles's relationship with convicted paedophiles. Again, putting paedophilia at the very heart of the British establishment, which was the sole reason conspiracy theories came about. And it could even be argued that the British truth movement sprung up because everyone was so concerned that we got paedophiles in high places, and now it's proved to be true. I mean, yeah, his sweating, what a silly but that's entitlement for you. When you live that life of entitlement, you got it in your head that you can say anything and people will just go along with it. Oh, it's sick. It's sick. Matt, all the king's horses and Puddock couldn't fix this mess. I know. And the only reason it never got out during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II was because of the credibility the Queen brought. But now that Queen Elizabeth II is dead and gone, it's a free-for-all, surely. There are photos of Mandelson and Epstein on Pedo Island shopping. Very interesting. Matt, 2011 is when Andrew photo with his arm around a 17-year-old's hip. Right, of course. And of course, this goes back to Brian Harvey to some extent, because Brian Harvey claims that that photograph is fake. And so that's where, in my opinion at least, Brian Harvey's credibility is being called into question. Because number one, I believe, and lots of other people believe that photograph is real, whereas Brian Harvey says it's fake. He calls me out to be part of the conspiracy because I take the abuse too well. I know that's rubbish. And so on those 2 points alone, can we go along with his Liam Payne murdered scenario and Prince Andrew in the Red Rooms? Then he says, Matt, how is the photo fake? It's not fake, but yet Brian Harvey says it is. Brian Harvey says Prince Andrew's arm couldn't stretch around as far as the waist. Brian Harvey's done videos on it. I don't particularly think it's fake. And I don't particularly give much credence or credibility to anyone who thinks that picture is fake. Touching upon Brian Harvey again. Liam Payne was off his face on drugs and fell off a balcony. This is common as fuck. But yet again, Brian Harvey doesn't think so. And Brian Harvey's meant to be a superb researcher who doesn't get these things wrong because he knows what it means to get things right. Because when you're in the public domain, when what you said often ends up on the front covers of the papers, it's important that you get things right. And of course, Brian Harvey is more aware of this than anyone. You got to get things right, otherwise people are going to be laughing at you, calling you a nutter. And for me personally, the problem with Brian Harvey is Matt Taylor. If he's got me wrong, what else has he got wrong? Superb researcher. Are you having a laugh, Matt? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm having a laugh. I am having a laugh, mate. I'm having a laugh. But I think Brian Harvey did get it right on the Bill Maloney. Or maybe that was bullshit. Maybe Brian Harvey got the wrong end of the stick. And they weren't trying to set him up. You know? I don't know. I wasn't there. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is getting asked to go to America to explain the paedophile ring he was in with Epstein. I mean, I know I'm aware of that, but he certainly won't be going. He certainly won't be going, will he? There's not a chance in hell that Brian Harvey will be Andrew Windsor will be going to America, sit in front of the Congress and explain himself about Epstein. A big hello to I Love Fishing. Hello, I Love Fishing. Evening, folks. Thanks ever so much for taking the plunge and coming on to Matt Taylor TV. In dedication to I Love Fishing coming on, I'd like to play a promotional video as a big thank you for I Love Fishing coming on. Before I do so, a more chance of Elvis doing a gig on Mars this year, says Lenny. As a big thank you to I Love Fishing, here's a promotional video dedicated just for you.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV. You'll never know what you'll get.
That was dedicated to you. Thank you ever so much. I Love Fishing. Great to have you in the house. Over to Lenny, who says, more chance of E17 calling to Brian's house for an impromptu gig on the roof like the Beatles. For an extra point, Lenny, name another band who also did a gig on the roof. And it's a golden point. And anyone else can answer. Anyone, name another band. And there's a few to choose from, but for a golden point, name another band who have also done an impromptu gig on the roof like the Beatles. Oh, thank you ever so much. I Love Fishing. Subbed Bud. Wonderful. It's so good to have you in the house. Yes. And Lenny's got the golden brownie point. Was it brownie point? No, just the golden point. Yes. U2, Where the Streets Have No Name. I remember U2 doing a gig on the roof. And I don't know whether it's just my imagination, but didn't Franz Ferdinand do one of them? Oh, I don't know, but definitely U2 did one, didn't they? Yes. Well done, Lenny. Lenny is an encyclopedia of interesting facts. I recognise the face. I know it's a small profile, but you remind me of Adrian. Adrian, someone who does. He's a YouTuber and a big fan of Alex Belfield. Adrian something. You remind me of that Adrian bloke. Over to Mandy, who says sorry. Just been for a wee. What have I missed? Well, we've got a new person in the room, Mandy. Mandy, I'd just like to introduce you to I Love Fishing. He's just subbed. I Love Fishing. Please, I'd just like to introduce you to Mandy Marlins. She's an amazing lady, a regular on the show. And very, very, very friendly. Over to Lenny. Limp Bizkit did it too. Limp Bizkit. One of the Twin Towers, really? Did they? Oh my God. I don't know if you're setting us up for a joke. Depeche Mode did a video, Enjoy the Silence video on the Twin Towers. Wow. Let's just hope it wasn't on 9/11. That's not funny. Let's just take a moment to remember the thousands of people who died on 9/11, and just thank the lucky stars that 2 passports weren't destroyed. Matt, Wendy and Den go live at 9. Oh, right. And you want to watch it, do you? You want to watch it? We may be losing Den. No, we may be losing Lenny at 9 because he's off to watch Den and Mandy. Yes, we love fishing. I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were a fisher. No joke. Depeche Mode did that video in 1990. It's on YouTube. Great video. Matt is not a Wendy Wu fan, nor am I a Den Tarragon. I'm just. Oh, here we go. Right. Oh God. Yeah, they're going live. They're going live. Did I say, what was that? Did I say was detecting Matt? I don't know. You are so funny, Matt. Oh, thank you. And you're so wonderful, Mandy. I can't stand Den Tarragon. I really cannot stand him because he talks. He's all so righteous and kind of like, yeah, you know, evidence and bullshit, and it's. But he was the one who just slandered and libeled John Winoa, calling him a scam, and there was based on absolutely zero evidence. And the person he named as someone who lost money by buying a share has actually confirmed to me that he didn't lose any money and didn't buy a share. The guy is an absolute. I just realised we have a new subscriber. I love fishing, and I was just about to lose it there. I was just about to go off on one. I was about to go off on a waffle. I was going to go on a waffle, mate. All about Den Tarragon. No, but for the sake of I love fishing, I'm a really composed YouTuber. I hardly ever lose it and call people CUNTs repeatedly until they fuck off and call Sussex police. Matt, is Ian McShane a better actor than Anthony Hopkins? Good question. I think all actors are equally good. You know what I mean? It's like saying in a football team, who's the better footballer? The defender or a striker? Les Ferdinand or Gary Glitter? Gary Glitter. Did I get that right? No. Gary Lineker, even. They're all footballers. Right? All footballers are good, no matter what position you play. And my personal opinion is that all actors are good, because you've got to be good to be an actor. The fact that any actor can learn the lines and convince the viewer that they're somebody they're not is pretty spectacular. Yes, Den Tarragon, real life name Richard Collins. Oh, I can't stand him, man. I can't stand him. Matt, what was your opinion of grunge and Kurt Cobain? Did his suicide shock you? All suicides shock me, you know. Gary Glitter, I know. What was that like, eh? Talk about a slip of the tongue. People kind of like, I have got a speech impediment. I love fishing. So, and I get forgiven for my slip-ups of the tongue. Matt speak, they call it. But people who are nice to me forgive me, and they call it Matt speak. I only can think of Dirty Den, EastEnders. Yes, is he dead now? I think he's dead, isn't he? I think he's dead, poor Dirty Den. Matt, who was the star footballer when you was a kid? Was it Kevin Keegan? It was, funny enough. But as a Brighton supporter, it was Peter Ward. Peter Ward. What was the Peter Ward song? But I actually went to a few Albion matches when it was the Goldstone Ground. Peter Ward song. Peter Ward lyrics. Yes. Peter Ward. Glory, glory, Brighton and Hove Albion. He plays for Brighton and Hove Albion and his name is Peter Ward. Defenders all hate him for the goals he has scored as the stripes go marching on. He scored, it must be Peter Ward. That's it, it's come back to me. He scored, it must be Peter Ward. Oh my God. Nah, look, I really cannot be doing with Wendy Wu and Den Tarragon. And there were so many times I started to write in Den Tarragon's chat, and I just thought, just delete it and watch and turn it off. I really cannot be doing with it. Is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor killed? Is Mountbatten killed himself? Well, let's start that again. Matt, let's just do if rather than is. If Andrew Mountbatten Windsor killed himself, people will say he was murdered. That's the thing now. Yes. Conspiracies are rampant. Matt's speech. Sorry, so funny. I know. I'm terrible for it. I know. We all love a bit of Peter Ward. He scored. It must be Peter Ward. And talking about Peter Ward, it's got to be time for another promotional video. Here we go.
Watch Matt Taylor TV because it's the best show in the whole wide galaxy.
Apparently so. That's what the aliens say. Apparently, Matt Taylor TV is the best show in the whole wide galaxy.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV.
Yes. Even mermaids say subscribe to Matt Taylor TV.
Matt Taylor TV. It's wacky, zany, and totally crazy.
And even strange octopus type creatures watch Matt Taylor TV. Honestly, it's crazy. Over to Lenny. Oh, poor Lenny. Lenny has to give up watching Wendy Wu and Den Tarragon. Also, Ghislaine Giswell is apparently getting duffed up by the bad girls in that Texas prison. She's no B. By Smith in there. Yes. And, that's another thing we don't seem to pay much attention to. All this distancing, Andrew Windsor distancing himself from Jeffrey Epstein. But he's more than happy to boast about his friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell. A friendship apparently they enjoyed since the university days. But yet Ghislaine Maxwell is a convicted sex offender herself. I mean, talk about fucking hell. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Matt, Star Wars was on ITV this evening. Yes, 1977. It's sort of made for teenage boys. I was Star Wars, but I recently watched Solo. I recently watched Solo on ITVX2. Really, really brilliant. I didn't say I was heading over to Wendy's chat. They're obsessed with Tommy Robinson over there. Tommy Robinson is a pretty handsome guy, isn't he, eh? Pretty handsome guy, Tommy Robinson. And, he could well be the UK's next Prime Minister. You never know. Him or what's his name? Nigel Farage. Hello, Diet Chips. Hello, Diet Chips. Before we say hello to Diet Chips, I'd like to play a promotional video dedicated to Diet Chips.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV, and all your dreams will come true.
Thank you, Diet Chips, for being brave and coming in. I hope you have subscribed. So, Diet Chips. My son, he spotted Maxwell and Andrew with Brian Harvey in the Red Rooms. Wow! Did he? Did he really? Now, the obvious question straight off the bat is, number one, what was your son doing in the Red Rooms? I mean, apparently these Red Rooms are the locations for some pretty perverted, depraved, and criminal activity involving allegedly minors. And I'm not talking about the people who smash out coal from deep under the ground. No. I'm talking about the underage type of minors. So while it's fascinating, you have to tell us more. Is Solo any good, or Rogue One? Yeah, they're all brilliant. You know, they're all brilliant. Oh, thank you for clarifying. If your son ever wants to come on to Matt Taylor TV and tell us, we'd be up for it. I know Lenny will be up for it. Red Rooms was a hotbed of wrong-uns in the 1990s. There you go. Brian Harvey was a regular there. He liked his girls very, very young. Wow, I mean, and wasn't there the scandal of him, Brian Harvey was married, and he had an affair with allegedly, when Brian Harvey was married, he had a relationship, allegedly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, put me right, with a girl age 16. I may have got that wrong, but I certainly am aware. Yes, okay, so it's been confirmed by Diet. We don't actually know who Diet Chips is. 16 years old, and she was at school. Look, the only problem with having relationships with young girls is that those young girls haven't got the mental capacity to deal with going out with a man older than themselves, okay? It's all about mental maturity. Ultimately, anyone age 16 has a mental maturity of a child, of a teenager. You come out of the teens in your 20s, and then I think you're no longer a teen and you have matured mentally enough to make decisions as to whether to engage in relationships with men older than yourself. Because ultimately, age shouldn't be and isn't the factor in falling in love with someone. Personality, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But most people fall in love with the personality of a person. And you have to be mature to a level to read that personality and decide for yourself whether that personality is suitable to your own. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is older men, older women entering into sexual relationships with teenagers, be it 19 downwards, it's a red flag. Come on, it's a red fucking flag. Brown's nightclub behind a secret door, allegedly. I mean, what on earth was Brian Harvey doing there? It's alleged by Diet Chips. We are aware that Diet Chips hasn't given his name, but Diet Chips is alleging that his son was on the door and witnessed Maxwell and Andrew Windsor in the Red Rooms with Brian Harvey, and as memory serves me correctly, that would have been with Daniela Westbrook. But the Last Jedi is apparently dog shit, apparently. Yes, Carly Court. Right. Is that the name of the 16-year-old girl? Brian got beat up in a nightclub for trying to get off with a 15-year-old. Right. That's ridiculous. I mean, of course, teenagers may well have the bodies of a woman, but they haven't got the mental capacity. He got his jaw broken, but didn't press charges because it would have exposed him as a N-word. And I'm not talking about a black man. I mean, listen. Wars have been fought over beautiful women. I personally think men who target young women are mentally immature themselves, and they can't attract women of their own age because they're not mature enough to be equal with women their own age. And so that guy on TikTok, that weirdo on TikTok, 40-year-old who only dates teenagers, it's just a red flag, for goodness sake. I'm all for dating people your own age. It goes without saying, because look, sex isn't the be-all and end-all. You can't. It's you can't have sex 24 hours a day. You know, there's got to be more to a relationship than sex. And what are you going to have in common with someone decades younger than yourself? And I'm thinking about Bill Wynham and his wife, who he met at 13. Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley. I mean, okay, have a 20-year age group when you're 50 years old and you're going out with a 30-year-old. Anyway, what do I know? All I know is that red flags. Max Clifford didn't go to jail for no reason. The showbiz industry is full of wrong-uns. Close to the bone, Matt. I know it's a difficult subject to discuss openly on a platform such as YouTube. Toby's fish bar with fish heads. Come on now, just keep it out. You're not going to get a promotional video because you know, we all love. I love Elvis, and I think George Michael was pretty spectacular. Sick weirdos, to put it kindly, says Lenny. Close to the bone, mate. Close to the bone. And Toby fish bar with fish heads. Close to the bone, mate. Close to the bone. It's a difficult subject, but ultimately it's a subject we should be discussing because it's important, and you know, it's paraphrasing something that was said by David Cameron, the then Prime Minister. Child abuse is on an industrial scale. I mean, that is fucking shocking. Child abuse is on an industrial scale in the UK, and if that isn't fucking worrying, I don't know what is. Over to Lenny, says, Matt, the photo is real. It was online since 2011. Well, I think you and Brian Harvey may have to have a little conversation about that. over to Netanyahu Dajo. I hope I pronounced that right. And as we've got a new viewer, I am happy to say we're going to do a promotional video. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't just lurk. Join the army. Matt Taylor TV needs you.
Yes, don't you dare lurk. Jump on in and say hi. And I want to say a big thank you for everyone who has. It just keeps the flow moving. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about your bowels. I believe that about BH. Oh, really? Really? So you believe what Diet Chips has been saying about BH? Epstein was running a child exploitation ring and honey trap on high-profile citizens. I mean, look, let's just get down to the bone. Let's say it as it is. Our society, the holier than holy, the great and the good, put out a facade which is hoodwinking us all. Because behind the facade of holier than holy, the great and the good, are a bunch of criminally demented perverts, in the worst sense of the word, criminal perverts, who get their kicks from doing despicable and unmentionable activities with children. That is essentially what we're dealing with in this day and age. We're dealing with our leaders, our politicians, our captains of industry, our entertainers, everyone in the public eye who we look up to and tip our hat to, everyone we admire and see as heroic, good, moral, and simply fantastic, are in all probability the most perverse and criminally minded individuals who have ever walked the earth. I know that may be a stretch, talking about Glamora. Anyway, I mean, I think Lenny just hit the nail on the head. Epstein was running a child exploitation ring and honey trap on high-profile citizens. Matt, do you recall the 1990s Mark Duro case? Of course I do. The whole of Belgium came out in protest for that. It was shocking, and that involved the Belgian royal family. They weren't held to account. Yes, the Polish 24-year-old was annoying the McCann. She was Madeline. She was convicted yesterday in court. Interesting that she was convicted of harassment, but not stalking. She was sentenced to 6 months, but she had already served 6 months. So the good news is she can walk out of there and go home. Yes, attention-seeking weirdo, yeah. But, of course, that attention was facilitated by Sean Atwood. At the time, I thought it was not a good idea for Sean Atwood to publicise her story. And, of course, it was Ron Swanson who was interviewing her. I personally think Sean Atwood had a part to play in facilitating her delusion, you know, giving oxygen to her delusion. And I'm surprised, and I don't know, I wasn't there, but I doubt Sean Atwood was brought up in court. Lenny, put away the encyclopedia and have a proper conversation, please. Oh, Netanyahu Deju. Oh, Lenny, you got someone pushing back on you. My point is, back 30 years ago, the Belgian public were righteously angry at the case. Anyone will be righteously angry at the case. I believe what I believe, says Mandy. Thank you, Mandy. And you're quite right and entitled to believe what you believe. Oh, big shout out to Brian. Hello, Brian. Hi, Matt. Just tuned in. Is this rightful anti-establishmentarianism in disguise? What you said is quite remarkable about the leaders of the world. It is all of them, or some. It's all of them, Brian. It's all of them. And in dedication to Brian, we shall play the last promotional video of the night. Here we go.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV because the content is wacky, zany, and crazy.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, big shout out to, I mean, right back at you, Brian. I mean, do you think it's some of them or all of them? Either way, some of them is too much. And of course, the big conspiracy theory is that they're only allowed into that position because they are that way inclined. That's why I say all of them, because I go along with that contention that only people of that ilk are allowed into positions of authority. So you only get promoted if you're part of that gang. And of course that goes back to the old George Catlin comedy. Was it George Catlin? Yeah, it's all a big club and we're not invited. It's a big club of the most despicable individuals. And so yes, it is all of them and not some. And then, of course, we have Kevin Annett. We have to be aware of these whistleblowers going out there, spilling some pretty unbelievable accusations against the world's great and good. And I include Jeanette Archer there as well. I know a lot of people may tut and roll their eyes, but I still think it's pretty fucking spectacular that we have an eyewitness who's willing to stand outside Windsor Castle with a loudspeaker claiming she personally saw Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Bloody Philip turn into reptilians before their very eyes. Now, if that isn't a fucking mindfuck, I don't know what is. Over to Lenny. Matt, some egregious crimes never make it to the public's attention. We should be old enough to know that. Quite right. I mean, Lenny's just pumping that truth button. Yeah. I have been wrong before, says Mandy. This is maybe a carry on from what Mandy said. I believe what I believe. I have been wrong before. We've all been wrong. Hope you're all well. Chat, thanks ever so much, Brian. Great to have you in the house. Brian PC. Hi, Mandy. Brian, we've got a new subscriber. I love fishing. Lovely bloke. Over to Brian, who says, well, I knew there was a lot of proper weirdos out there. And I'm a bit out of touch with it, to be fair, Matt. Too busy these days on different projects. I think we should all be aware of the perversion pervading at the heart of our society. And I mean, that was the motivation for me to get involved with the truth movement, because I generally thought something was happening. You know, that the truth was coming out and people were being made aware of the truth. And just like the 1990s in Belgium, when we all turned out en masse and we said, we're not fucking happy about this, I thought change was just around the corner. And I thought there was going to be a vacuum. So I was quickly positioning myself to fill that vacuum when the inevitable came, you know. But ultimately, nothing really panned out, which was just a bit of a disappointment. Because there was me thinking, this is the chance of a lifetime. A big hello to Zip. Hello, Zip. Kew Gardens is lovely. Because we got Zip, I'd like to play a promotional video to celebrate Zip in the chat. Thank you, Zip. This is dedicated to you.
Subscribe to MattTaylorTV before you die.
What the fuckity fuck was that? Shit, man. A big hello to Zip. Zip rings a bell. Hello, Zip. I don't know if anyone knows what Zip's going on about. Right on a postcard to Hoax Police PO Box Bollocks. Kew Gardens is lovely. Says Zip. I think Ron Swanson is trying to expose a lot, to be fair, but it's hard to do that and cover yourself legally these days. Absolutely. I was just talking about Ron Swanson, actually, Brian. As you may know, the news in today was that young lady, or the 24-year-old, who claimed to be Madeleine McCann's daughter. I got that wrong. Who claimed to be Madeleine McCann. She was found guilty of harassment, not guilty of stalking. But I was actually pointing out the fact that Ron Swanson spoke to her, interviewed her a lot on the Sean Atwood. Do you think they had a part to play in feeding that delusion of giving oxygen, giving airtime to that delusion? I think they did, actually. But then again, it can also be said they were just trying to get to the bottom of it. They never actually agreed with her, and the only reason they had her on was to get to the bottom of her story. But she may well never have been in court if she hadn't gone on to Sean Atwood's show. Yes, there's a lot to grumble about in society today. Oh boy, there's always, isn't there? Is Lenny an NPC? We have Sandy Dombrowski. Sandy Dombrowski left a particularly vicious trolling comment on my show earlier on my platform. So I'm not particularly impressed with Sandy Dombrowski. So she won't be getting a promotional video. No, you are wrong. Oh, ridiculous. There's some people who live for degrading others, putting other people down, and it's the very definition of a troll, though, you know. Matt, what does your mate Chris Bivvy think of all? He thinks the whole world is a stage, and everyone on that stage are actors. So Chris Bivvy's take on the world is that we are, the audience, us, are being hoodwinked every single minute of the day. What TV is there to sell us a story. World events is there to sell us a yarn. Nothing we see, nothing that's ever told to us is based in reality. We are sold a reality via TV, films, and the newspaper, when the actual reality of what's going on is a million miles away from what we believe the reality is. And I go along with that. I honestly go along with it. There are make-believe people. There are characters put into place just to keep us entertained. Because ultimately, there's a lot more of us than there are of them. And they are very evil people. And they know what they're doing is very evil. And they know that if the truth of their behavior and criminality was known by the billions of us, their system will be taken down within the hour. I go along with Spivvy. Trolls in the chat. Oh, fuck, God, Lenny. Matt just allows trolls in. Fuck off, Lenny. You honestly, mate, you're bringing down the whole... I was having such a nice time. And then you just fuck... Oh, do you know... Fuck off. Honestly, Lenny, you really bring me down when you come out with this shit, man. You really bring me down, mate. Honestly, I was enjoying... We're having a nice chat. And then you just got to come in and be a bit of an arsehole. Right? I deal with things in my own way, okay? Honestly, Lenny, you're not particularly... Fucking hell, Lenny. I'm going to play a song. Because Lenny is, you know, a bit of an arsehole. Lenny can be sometimes. In my opinion. In my opinion, Lenny can be a bit of an arse. I'm gonna have a little break. I'll be back momentarily.
Yeah. Matt. You're lucky anyone tunes in. Lenny says AI slop on repeat. Yeah, Lenny loves to complain. Last night I was bang out of order. Apparently sounded drunk, sounded wild, sounded too damn free. Lenny says I was hostile, a bit unhinged, projecting my demons through a digital bins. But I just laugh, sip tea, lean back in my chair, cause I make more noise than they ever dare. Oh, I'm your A-slop superstar, broadcasting truth from a neon bar. You call me crazy, I call it art. Throw shade, but I steal your heart. Yeah, I'm your A-slop superstar, screaming raw, unfiltered, bizarre. Project all you like, son, I see right through. You wish you had half the fun I do. Lenny says, Matt, you were mean. You were out of line, but your outrage fuels my next punchline. Maybe I'm tipsy on truth or just tired of lies. Either way, my madness electrifies. They want to cage the clown, censor the show, but this circus thrives on the undertow. Keep throwing stones, keep naming my sins. It's just free promo, my legend begins. Oh, I'm your A-slop superstar, broadcasting truth from a neon bar. You call me crazy, I call it art. You throw shade, but I steal your heart. Yeah, I'm your A-slop superstar, streaming raw, unfiltered, bizarre. Project all you like, son, I see right through. You wish you had half the fun I do. You think I'm drunk on chaos? Maybe you're right. But at least I'm living, not hiding behind spite. You're tuned in every night, every post. So who's the real fan here? Me or you? Ghost! A-slop superstar. Love me or hate me, I raise the bar. You can call me names, you can call me mad, but admit it, I'm the best damn show you've ever had. Matt, you're lucky anyone tunes in. Yeah, lucky's got nothing to do with it. They tune in because I dare to sin.
Remember, it's good to sin. So, where were we, everyone? That song was dedicated to Lenny. So, yes, we had Lenny. Lenny says, Matt, sort your trolls out, mate. Jeanette Archer is the biggest horrible liar. Brian, yes, he said he's had long chats with her, Matt, so there's more than what we can see. Right, I know. Yeah, that's a good point. He did say there was lots of chats behind the scenes. I don't think, or you may correct me, did Ron Swanson actually ever come out and say he believes she was or is Madeleine McCann? Mandy says she has a horrible mind anyway, but she was used by SA. I mean, you got to cry for the child, haven't you? Anyone who's endured SA in their childhood, it's inevitable. Sadly, they're going to be a messed up adult. More than what they could say, because the most well-known abduction case in the world has a lot of watchers and people interested in it worldwide, and rightly so. And of course, that goes to the top of the political establishment, doesn't it? As we know, the following days, we had, I think, the English Prime Minister at the time was Gordon Brown, wasn't it? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to, and that's the truth. So when I say there's a lot going on behind the scenes, what I'm talking about is the truth. The truth is going on behind the scenes, and the truth we aren't privy to. What's NPC? An NPC is a non-player character. How many children have been abducted since 2007, Madeleine McCann, and get zero attention, says Lenny. An NBC comes from gaming and games, apparently. Yes, confirmed. NPC is a non-player character. P.S. Still not fixed this keyboard. Yeah, I've noticed that, Brian. Properly, so I've ordered a new one, Matt. It's just worn out. Prove me wrong, Lenny. Is Lenny just a non-player character? I defy any parent of a toddler not to be freaked out when they see a photo of Madeleine McCann. The world has never been safe. The world wasn't safe before 2003. It hasn't been safe since after 2003. The very fact that she left Madeleine McCann by herself in their hotel room should in itself be a criminal act. Of course, if we were going to go down Spivy's mind, Spivy's way of thinking, it's just a made up story to keep us entertained, to put us in fear, to take up the news for generations to come. So there's a contention out there that Madeleine McCann, Jerry McCann are all made up characters. It's a crazy scenario. So many people have so many different takes on life. It makes you think life isn't real, because none of us can decide on what is the truth. We can't, and that's wrong in itself. The very fact that no one can decide, right, let's all believe this, let's all say that is true. None of us can do it. We can't even agree on whether the fucking what shape the earth is. You know, it's just, life is one fucked up dimension, man. And look, I'm with Lenny, you know, I'm with Mandy. Mandy's asking, are you even real, Lenny? Brilliant. Oh, stop playing the victim, Lenny. You had to go at me there for playing the victim. You don't even know what's happened to me. Yes, I'm just going to get my cocoa. Oh, funny enough, I've just poured myself a mugwort. Absolutely disgusting, honestly. Mugwort tea. I'm getting used to it. 3/4 of the drink is nice, but it's when you get to the end bit, oh, potent. Oh heck, she's giving me Ovaltine. Lenny, Matt's diss track. My essay slot remark not forgiven or forgotten. Lenny says, Matt Sharangel used to heavily criticise Jeanette Archer as a grifter. Yes, she did, didn't she? No, Matt, you know Archer is just a horrible liar. Well, so do you all agree that she lied about witnessing the Queen and Prince Philip changing into reptilians? So would you all agree that that was a blatant lie? Because, quite frankly, I don't appreciate liars in the public domain. And if that is the case, she should be held accountable, because you get idiots like me who believe absolutely anything and everything. Not privy to Chris Spivey? Check out christopherDspivey.org.uk. Val. Val, says Mandy. Val. She's Val. Val, move the letters around. Evil. Matt, you need to get Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on the show. Wouldn't that be good, eh? For an interview. Wouldn't that be good? I'd love to get him. Prove you wrong on what? Whether you're a real person, Lenny. Matt, serious question. Do you have any sympathy for the McCann parents? No, I don't. I don't even think they're real, mate. I think they're made-up personas. I think they're actors playing the role of two adults who lost their child in Portugal. I'm with Spivey. I'm a disciple of Chris Spivey. I don't think anything is real. I think everything we're shown in the news is make-believe. Yeah, and I'll put my hand up and say I'm fucked up. Yes, I am fucked up. I'm a fucked up individual. I was talking to my son about this. I'm a fucked up individual, right? Because guess why, right? When I was about fucking 10 years old, I was an altar boy and I knocked the wine over in the fucking church, and then the priest carried on the service pretending there was fucking wine in the chalice. That's why I'm fucked up, mate. I'm fucked up because from an early age, I saw those people in a position of power that are meant to never lie to the public, lying to the congregation in their eyes. I witnessed a priest pretend to drink wine from the chalice when I knew there was no fucking wine in the chalice. It fucks you up, Lenny. And then when I told my mates about it, they wouldn't believe me. They're like, no, you idiot, that doesn't happen. That can't happen, Matt. And then I got the fucking blame for it. So I've been fucked up from an early age because I've seen with my own two fucking eyes people in positions of power lying straight in the eyes of their congregation. And then when I tell people the truth, they wouldn't believe it. And I was called the liar. I was called the mad one for saying, don't be silly. Priest wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that, Matt. He wouldn't pretend to drink wine out of a chalice if there was no wine in that chalice. And they looked at me with sad eyes. They looked at me as if I was fucking stupid. They pitied me because I told them that I knocked over the wine and there was no wine in that chalice. So that's why I'm fucked up. That's why I don't believe anything. Because I've seen it with my own eyes, man. And then, as an adult, I've stood in a general election and I was attacked. I was attacked by dark forces who shut my election down. So Lenny, Mandy saying evil, yes. So there's a general consensus that Jeanette Archer is absolutely bullshitting us by claiming to see or to witness Elizabeth II, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip turned into reptilians. But doesn't that apply to what I just said? I mean, I knocked over the wine, and there was no chalice in that. There was no wine in the chalice of what the priest pretend to drink. And I was treated the same way. So for me personally, until Jeanette Archer is proven to be a liar, I'm open. I'm open to the suggestion that Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip are or could be reptilians. I'm open to that suggestion. And I'm open to that because of my experiences in life. Fuck off, I've seen him in real life, says Mandy. I've seen Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip in real life too. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, why did they rebrand him with the Abracadabra countdown? I can't even pronounce it. Fucking hell. Andrew won't be on Channel 4 giving an alternative Christmas message at 3 p.m. Oh, God. Yes, it was awful to believe the horrible lies you have beloved. Yes. Hey, listen. Oh, and I was talking about this to Lewis, actually. If dinosaurs continue to evolve, they would look like aliens. That's something he said. Why do you believe bullshit? Because bullshit is what's being sold. You know, who would have believed Jimmy Savile was a dangerous sexual predator who did so much crimes to so many people? Bullshit usually turns out to be the truth. That's why I believe bullshit, because bullshit turns out to be the truth. Oh yeah, Mandy, you know, they are real people, but they're actors playing a role. That's what Chris Bivvy thinks, and I'm open to that suggestion. Fair enough, Matt, you challenge authority because morally you know power corrupts. They're all actors. They're real people playing roles. Are all religions man-made rubbish? Yes, of course they are. In fact, Christianity is paganism rehashed. All the gods of the pagans were turned into saints. The whole thing, it's just we're at the back end of a load of bullshit that got brought into being thousands of years ago, and we're at the back end of that bullshit that came in thousands of years ago, and people are still stupid as they were back then. No, absolutely not. No fucking way. That's like saying when you're born, that's it. That's like two twins in their mother's belly saying when we're born, that's it, mate. No, not at all. Death is just the start of a beautiful adventure. You can exist without being codependent to a religious credo, yes. Anyway, it's been a really good night. Thanks ever so much for everyone for joining me. I'll wrap it up in 5 minutes. I'd just like to play a promotional video. Be aware that there's a Matt Taylor TV extra. Make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe to Matt Taylor TV Extra, and you'll get more.
And we all love we all love more, don't we? Look, I apologise if I scared anyone. I got a bit animated there. Over to Lenny, who says, well, what's the point of putting remains of a body into a cemetery? They've got to go somewhere, Lenny. You know? You've got to go somewhere. The bones don't disappear. The bones of our ancestor. Where else would you recommend putting it? I mean, we're not talking about the mega city recycle centres, the resects, where everything is like turned back to the mineral base. You know, I think that's kind of like a moot point. The body is merely a temporary vehicle. Yeah, we're spiritual beings enjoying a physical experience we call life, but ultimately we're spiritual, and there is an afterlife. Well, look, I've certainly enjoyed it. Thank you ever so much. Big shout out to you, Mandy. Big shout out to Lenny, to Brian, to Justin, and everybody else. We had a new subscriber. I love fishing. Hey, listen, the thing is, you're welcome to subscribe, and please do so. You can always unsubscribe later. Don't feel obliged to stay subscribed. You know, I only ask that you do subscribe, but don't feel obliged to stay subscribed. Matt, would you like a huge mausoleum in Brighton? The Taylor Mausoleum? What are you on about? Come on, Lenny. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, Lenny. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, Lenny. Are you real, Lenny? Are you real? I think Mandy has been on the wind-up with me tonight. I think... Lucky I had that break, mate. Lucky I had that break when you had a go at me about dealing with my trolls, mate. Fucking hell. Don't Indians put bodies on a pyre? You mean a pyre? Yes. They burn. Yeah, I mean, listen. The reason, I don't know. It's the climate, isn't it? I don't know. But a body in the ground makes good manure. I heard that somewhere. Seriously, people, seriously. Well, anyway, we're coming up to the last few minutes. Let's make sure everyone says, yeah, I do, because I don't like being told how I should deal with my trolls, right? You may call them trolls, but I call them human beings who need a bit of understanding, okay? Leave my trolls to me. I sort my trolls out. I don't appreciate anyone telling me how to deal with my trolls. Matt had a massive body drop when I mentioned the troll word. I know, I do. And what on earth is Brian Harvey going on about? Saying I take abuse too well. I do not handle the trolls too well. What are you on about? I've already banned 2 trolls today, Lenny. Right? They'll come in and talking about Mandy's titties. I'm like, no, I'm not having any of that, mate. I'm not having any of that. Hey, let me assure you, Lenny, if anyone came in today talking about your testicles, I would have banned them. Put it that way. Okay? Trust me. Diet chips. I know. What's that all about, eh? Brian Harvey thinks you're a masochist. I'll have to remind myself what a masochist is. Is that someone who likes to be hurt? You know, like, yeah, man, squeeze my balls until I scream. I love it. Is that a masochist, isn't it? Matt, my testicles are fine where they are. Thank you. Hey, listen, thanks everyone for coming. I've had a really good time. And I hope you've had a good enough time to tune in again if and when I go live. It's not an if, I am going to go live. Don't you worry about it, okay? Don't you worry about it. Be sure to subscribe to Matt Taylor Extra. You can find that at youtube.com/@MattTaylorTV Extra. And on that note, I'd like to say a big thank you. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Justin. Thank you to the new subscribers. A big shout out to I Love Fishing. Until the next time, remember, Lenny is a real person.
Taylor TV. It's crazy, zany, and always wacky. Tune in for the fun, stay for the surprise. Broadcasting live from bright skies.
Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my!
Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika.
Get ready for a wild ride. It's new kind of media.
Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my! Entertain and educate, he's got the knack for making you laugh, and that's a fact.
From wacky stunts to crazy tales on Matt Taylor TV, the fun never fails. Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media. Don't be shy, jump in and say hi with the host with the most, Matt Taylor. Oh my!
Every show's a blast, so have a ball with Matt Taylor. You'll love it all.
From Brighton with love, it's the best you'll see. So hit subscribe, join the family. Take a pinch of salt and a sniff of paprika. Get ready for a wild ride. It's a new kind of media.